I'm tired of feeling distracted and like I don't know what the heck is going on. That's how I feel. And that's how I think a lot of people feel. And I'm going to try and make this video without making any cuts, which is difficult because I don't even know how to put my mind together properly. It's like a giant mix of fucking spaghetti doing this the whole time, and thoughts don't come out linearly. Although right now I'm not doing too bad, okay? If I stutter, it's too late already, okay? So my big issue here, guys, is I feel like we live in this age of an overconsumption of media, right? We have so many things, video games, TV, and YouTube, even the stuff that I'm doing, and I want to make music, and I want to make video games, I want to do all this cool stuff, and so much of it, oh my goodness, feels like it takes away a vital part of our thinking process and our brain, our focus, our concentration, because so many of the things that are designed are made to grab your attention, to keep your brain constantly focused, right? So that's why in a lot of videos people add so many different sound effects and the perfect thumbnail and all of these different things to make sure that your attention is locked and zoned in. And personally speaking, I don't really like that very much. I don't really like trying to optimize content for attention span. Attention span is something that's been going away. As you guys probably know, Gen Z is being made fun of on a widespread mass for not having a large attention span. But, it's a difficult thing when you're raised on media to keep your attention focused on something less interesting. In fact, this freaking video is going to be stupidly less interesting for other people. And why am I shirtless? It's my house. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Anyhow. Back to the topic of being distracted. You see what I just did? You see what I just did in fucking real time. I went from being concentrated on talking about what I want to talk about to talking about me being half naked. Anyhow, guys. Now my issue is, what do we do about that? How do we solve the problem of not having focus and concentration where we want it? Why is this such a big deal for me? Why is this such a big deal for you? Well, I have a couple reasons why I think it matters, and the first one is I want to be able to form sentences and sound smart. Okay, I have a big insecurity, this is maybe just a me thing, about speaking out a sentence and not knowing where the hell it's going, not being able to articulate my thoughts well, and just struggling overall to feel like I have like a higher level of consciousness. I want to feel like I'm getting smarter as the years go by, but instead what's happening is my brain is shrinking, is what it feels like. It doesn't feel like a fully functioning brain. And in university, I remember I was so focused on trying to optimize my brain health. That was big. So while sleep is something I was messing up, I was definitely trying to avoid as many sources of media as possible. And I noticed that when I would speak to people, I could fully explain and express a thought. And that's so important for me because I love to write beyond YouTube. I love to do so many things that involve creativity, and I feel like if my brain is muddled with so many different things that it's difficult to fully express myself the way that I want to, right? And I think that we all want to do that. We all want to be expressive, and if you're somebody who creates something, you want to create it the right way. That being said, something that can happen, and something that's happened to me, is when I'm creating something or when I'm doing something, my mind kind of gets occupied by this background thought that doesn't really make any sense, right? I'm walking down the street and then all of a sudden, right, I'm chilling, I'm walking, and then all of a sudden, boom, a random TikTok fart noise and imagery that isn't there. And you might be thinking, you're just explaining how the brain works. No, man. You're just chilling somewhere, and then all of a sudden, jingle bells, you're singing your stupid song, and you're like, I don't know why this is happening, but I'm bobbing my head. And, all of a sudden, in the middle of your test, right, you're in your exam room thinking that everything's fine, but you're listening to music that's not playing. I don't like that. I don't like feeling like I have a crazy brain. Anyhow, I might have to make a cut because someone's coming into this house, okay? I plan to make this with no cuts. Anyhow, the next thing that I think is very important is when it comes to your own self-discovery and when it comes to you making yourself... I completely forgot where I was going. This is happening live. When it comes to you making your... understanding yourself, okay? When it comes to you understanding your own emotions, if you do not have the ability to decipher all of the garbage, all of the things that cloud your thoughts, it's very difficult to understand how you feel. Why does how you feel matter? Well, if you understand how you feel, if you understand what's actually happening in your mind, you can better emotionally regulate yourself. Let's say you're somebody who deals with depression or sadness or anxiety or any number of the mental disorders that you could possibly have in this world. Imagine going through those mental disorders, right? Having the stress, having all that pain, and those very deep rooted emotions in a brain that's fucking like, it does not make any sense what's going on in your head anymore, right? You realize how much harder it is when your brain cannot focus to figure out how to deal with your own shit, right? I think that some of you right now are nodding your heads. You're like, oh shit, man. Like, sometimes when I have my anxiety, or I'm going through a phase of sadness or depression and everything, it feels like I'm being eaten up by so many thoughts at once that I can't understand what's real. And I feel like this is not even misrepresented, but just under talked about part of dealing with any kind of mental disorder, is especially depression, where it's your mind, it has all these different negative thoughts that might not be true. You might say something like, no one will ever love me, or all of these things that aren't certainties. They're just things that your brain is saying. And in my opinion, I think that when you begin to remove things from your environment that cause you to be more susceptible to having a lower attention span, things that spike your dopamine really high. I'm not just talking about social media, I'm talking about habitual drug use, I'm talking about alcohol, I'm talking about things that get you in that high state of mind, right? And briefly, I want to talk about like why we even go there in the first place. It becomes a response. It becomes a neurological pattern in your brain where you're thinking, okay, I need to escape a feeling that I don't like to deal with. Maybe you've done this for years through TV, porn, video games, whatever it might be. And I'm not saying that you can never indulge in escapism. I want to live on monk mode. I don't like feeling like I need to escape. I want to face everything. That's who I am. That's what I love. If you want to have fun and eat a cake or every now and then, I don't give a shit, right? You do you. Anyway, what I wanted to say was, hey, when it comes to escapism, you might want to dial that back a bit if you're hoping to get more control over your mind. And that's going to be very difficult because once you remove a habit that you're used to doing for so long, your brain's going to go, uh-oh, dopamine, don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how I'm supposed to keep continuing to make you feel good, right? Our feel good stuff is gone. You got to replace it with stuff like exercise. And exercise might not be enough, by the way. You might have to do a whole bunch of shit. You might have to spend a bunch of time thinking to yourself, talking to yourself, to try and figure out a way to make you not feel as empty inside. And for me, what I figured out is I just have to go hard at stuff that I've always wanted to do. I'm extremely creative. I wish I could open my gosh damn brain and let you crawl inside for a few seconds, okay? But not any longer than that, because I don't want you to steal my fucking ideas. And I feel like now I've gotten the majority of what I wanted to say out. Meanwhile, stuttering the whole gosh damn time. Okay? Hate being distracted. I hate feeling like social media and all these things. Actually, you know what? I will make a cut here, probably. But I want to make a note. And this is a note on what I'm doing and why I feel so weird about it. And why I've been so reluctant with stuff like YouTube and TikTok and all these other platforms. And why content creation in general, I love doing creative things, like I said before. But it almost feels as if I'm doing a disservice to people who really need to work on that aspect of like concentration. And that's why sometimes I just upload and I just try and stay away from shit. On social media, sometimes someone would be like, did you see my post or anything? I'm like, no, the fuck I did not. Because I try and only watch something that makes me feel like I'm not losing myself, right? I want to feel like what I've just watched did not damage my brain anymore, right? It's already in a terrible place from my own perspective, right? And I say things, and even listening to myself now, I say right a lot. I say a lot of filler words because I struggle. I speak fast. Let's take this moment here. It was a brief silence. I know it's fucking unbearable to just have someone be a little bit more silent when they speak. But this is what I want. I want to speak slower so I can understand what I'm saying. Partway through this video, I talked so fast that I had to think my way into where I wanted to go. And that's not a fun feeling. And I understand that retention and getting people to watch things and getting people to be entertained nowadays is a lot about fast-paced, push information down someone's throat. Freaking, come here, give me your throat. Information inside, right? But I don't think that there's anything wrong with processing the way that you have to deal with something, or not the way that you have to deal with something. See how many times I say something that I don't actually mean? Because I'm trying to rush the words out to you. If you're out there, you struggle with being distracted, you struggle with just not being able to concentrate, I highly recommend that you try and figure out a way to get your brain back where you would like it. What you feel like is an acceptable amount of being present, being here, right? There's people out there, maybe you have a wife, son, whatever it may be. There might be small details on things that you just cannot see because your brain is preoccupied with so many things. You're not used to concentrating. You haven't tried things like meditation. I highly recommend that. So what I'll do for you guys in this video is I'm going to link down below a really awesome video that I found today, which I'm super passionate about, which speaks about shit way better than I do. All right, that's it. Rant over. Okay, goodbye.